Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Lady Hale, and thank you for joining me tonight on this live tonight. It is so amazing uh, to have you here. We're going to have, if you didn't know, we're going to have my good friend, Niecy Hamilton. She's going to be on here also with our own Jeremiah Rankin, and we're going to be talking about sexual traumas in your home. So we're so thankful that we're able to share this with everyone. And if you have any questions, I'm just inviting people. If you have any questions, please put it in. Just put it in here, and we're going to make sure that if you have any questions, you have anything, we will get it here. It's all about um, making good connections. If you have something that you want to talk about, anything, we're going to have that right here. And like I said, my good friend Niecy Hamilton is going to be joining us about 8:30. As you know, I'm just inviting people. As you know, Niecy Hamilton is, I would call her an expert on human trafficking, not because she went through it or not because she suffered. It's because she actually know what's going on, and she's very knowledgeable. And I trust her opinion, and whatever she helps with the young ladies or young men, she does a fantastic job. So I have Mr. Jeremiah Rankin is going to be on. He's coming on. That's our therapist. So if any of you have any questions, everything, hey baby, I see he must have the baby on. That's amazing. We love our children. We really do. We support our children. We make sure our children are taken care of. Oh, look at
Hey, can y'all hear
the baby.
me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
we hear you and we hear her. Who
For
is
some
that?
reason, I can't hear you,
You
so I'm
can't hear me?
struggling over here. Give
You
me
can't hear
one
me?
second as I work offline, okay? I'm gonna try
Okay.
to get my sound working.
Okay. Oh, he got a pretty baby. We love babies around here, you guys. As you can see, we're going to be talking. He will be right back. He's trying to get in where he can hear us, and make sure you put your questions in. If you have any questions, make sure you put your questions down here. It could be questions on whatever related to the subject on sexual abuse, trauma, whatever it may be. We're asking you to please put your questions in here. Okay, hold on. I can hear myself. Hey, Miss Pritchard, how you doing, sweetie? And if you have any questions, make sure you put your questions down here because we want to have a therapist here. And we're going to have Miss Niecy Hamilton that's going to come on also. So I want to make sure everyone who has any questions will be able to put your questions in. And please share the video, Miss Pritchard, because we want to make sure we reach as many people as possible that's having issues or having some problems. Can you hear me now, Jeremiah? All right. Who baby is that? Whose baby?
This is my baby. Her name's Sarai.
Hi, Shirai.
So
Oh.
she has a voice now, and she's definitely using it.
Well,
So
we're not mad at her. We're not
yeah.
mad at her.
So
She might.
for the topic tonight, I just kind of wanted
Hmm.
to show I have children, and so this is
Right.
why this is another reason why this topic is so near and dear to
Hmm.
me. Protect our kids. So
Yes. And you know, Niecy Hamilton is going to be joining us around 8:30. I think you know Niecy Hamilton. She's the one that helps with the sex trafficking and the molestation. She helps with all of that. So people are sharing and they are coming in. So I'll go ahead and let you open up the topic and let the baby have her say. Don't let her talk.
yeah, no, I never apologize for the kiddos. I think they're a
Mm-mm.
blessing, and so whenever I speak online and they are here with me, I encourage them to be
Yes,
themselves.
encourage her to. We
Um,
we value her opinion.
so, we are talking about sexual assault in our homes where it hits home.
Right.
Whether it's auntie, cousin, uncle, grandpa, father, brother, sister, We are talking about sexual assault in our community. And what can we do to prevent it? So, what are some of the signs and the symptoms of sexual assault? And we'll talk about different scenarios and situations that have kind of come about recently in our community. And so, we'll give
Okay.
some examples and scenarios, and we'll walk through those.
Okay. So I also put on there about trauma. So my thinking of the question that came up is if it's sexually abused in the home, why? Well, I've only been black all my life. So why is it in our community is like whatever goes on in this house stays in this house? But sometimes that will be the problem. And Nisi is going to speak on that because she started saying the shit to say it. Her grandmother that's trafficked her and her mother in the house. Yes.
Yeah, I know when there's a man as the perpetrator, I can speak to this. Whether it's grandpa, uncle, or a distant relative, when they are the perpetrator, or an older sibling or younger sibling, whenever it's a sibling, keep the business in the home because they don't want to lose them to the system. They don't want to
Mm,
report them to the authorities, and they end up getting 30, 60 years and never coming home. And so
right.
just think about that. Okay, we're dealing with the sexual assault. We're dealing with this crime, this trauma to this child. But then, boom, we send off one of our men to prison, and we'll never see them come home again. And so that also hurts the family as well. So you put a lot of mothers and women in bad positions, and so a lot of times they deal with it in the wrong way by, uh, "I'll talk to them" or sweeping it under the rug.
Right.
Meanwhile, we're slowly destroying these children's lives as they grow up. They have mental health issues.
Mm. And could it be, in your professional opinion, as being a therapist, if someone sexually abused them, will they sexually abuse the brother, the sister, the niece, the nephew, the cousin? Will it stop, or will they take their anger out on the next?
Typically, that's what we see in younger children. So those children who have been exposed to sex early on, before prepubescent, so 8, 9 years old, young children, when they're exposed to that, they have older siblings or they go off to school. Um, Either they have an infatuation with touching their body parts, which is a huge
Mm,
indicator that they've been exposed early on, or they touch other children
mm,
inappropriately, and so see a lot of that in the home with siblings. See that in foster care, especially when these kids are bounced around from home to home. They introduce other kids, whether they're older or younger, to some of the things that they've been exposed to, and so yeah, we see that a lot amongst our youth when they're exposed at a young age, they end up becoming perpetrators themselves.
And let me ask you also, the thing that I hear most about, um, if someone may have said or they do something, the family members or whoever will not believe them. They will say either they got it confused or they're lying. What is the point that they won't believe the child or whoever? It could be an adult or whoever.
Usually, it's the denial. They
Okay.
don't want to believe it, right? They don't want to believe that their mother, that their father did this to their child. And then again, you deal with that. If I report this, am I willing to lock up my grandpa or my father? Am I willing
Mhm.
to lock up my brother, which is his or her uncle? You know,
Right.
and so yeah, they deal with it in the wrong way by saying, what is it? Gaslighting, right? Gaslighting. No, that's not what you felt. No, that's not what you heard. Just gaslighting these children. Again, it just adds to the trauma. And then as the child grows up, it turns into resentment as well towards the mother. You knew
Mhm.
this was happening to me and you didn't do anything. So it's a lot of problems, a lot of mental health issues that come about if this situation is not handled in the right manner.
So, what are some of the things that you see that they when they have anger issues? I heard you say before a lot of time if they have anger issues, it'll show up in school and they misdiagnose it as ADHD or
Mhm.
something else, but it could be another topic. I was watching Dr. Phil today, and it was a young girl. She had been eating disorder, anorexia, but
Mhm.
the parents just found out, and she's been doing this for 2 years. And Dr. Phil said it wasn't the anorexic that was the problem, it was some other issue. And you could just see the look on the parents' face. They just did not believe that it could be something else. But like you said, denial. And Dr. Phil was telling them, no, y'all are in denial. It's something else going on with this child. And I have heard you say that numerous of times. They might say it's ADHD or it would be something else, but you have to get down to the real issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, it goes back to the what question. What happened to you? What have you gone through? What have you experienced? But, when these kids are dealing with secrets, right? You can't tell because an elder in the church or someone that you trust in the church, that your parents trust, cousin or brother, of your of the parent, you know, and they have to hold that in. Think about that. This is a prepubescent, immature child who doesn't necessarily know about her emotions or feelings, is still learning about themselves, and you're putting this pressure on them to keep this secret. And so it shows up in their behavior. Depression, they're confused, they're angry, they can't trust people. I mean, and so yeah, it does show up in classroom behavior. It does show up in acting out, running away, being defiant, maybe attention seeking because they want to tell their story. They want to tell about their experience so bad, but they can't just verbally express it. So it shows up in their behavior. Um,
Miss Warnett Preacher has a comment, and I guess you can deal with it. She said, I don't like it when the parent take up for the spouse over the child. So how would you deal with that when the child said they did this, but the parent still side with the spouse?
s- okay, I'm going to take a different angle at this because there are children, 12, 13 years old, who do typically manipulate stepdad or
Right,
stepmom. Hey, I don't like them. I hate them, and then they'll
right.
bring up allegations. Okay, so that
Yes.
definitely does happen. We're not going to discount that, but all allegations, all accusations, they need to be taken seriously. They need to be taken seriously. Rather, you love your partner and you trust your partner with your children. Run a little test, right? You want to protect your kids first. Run a test, maybe set up a hidden camera, and
Oh,
make sure that you are protecting your child if you have any questions about the integrity of the home.
I
Um,
never thought of
because
that.
we just don't know, and we don't want to dismiss these allegations because they're so serious. Unfortunately, grown adults, they are choosing their spouses, their lovers, their partners over their children. And that's a whole CPS case in itself.
Okay. So that case would have to go through CPS before it comes to you, because I've heard you say on numerous occasions, if it is divulged to you, you have to report it.
Mhm,
Just like I do. We have to report it.
mhm. Really,
Even if
parents
it
do
was a
too.
lie or whatever, we still have to report it and let them do what they need to do.
Yeah, even parents, though. I mean, parents who it's been said, yes, she did tell me, or I told my mom several times, and it's documented on text or email or something like that. Parents can be brought up on charges for that.
Mm,
Um, you know, you're almost like an accomplice to the crime. You hid
mm.
it, you were aware of it, and you didn't report it.
We lost you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
You didn't press the mute. So
Leave her alone.
it
She
it
might
does
want
happen.
to talk.
It does happen. It happens where mothers, typically mothers, they know that the abuse is happening, but they choose to ignore it. And then there's times where they refuse to believe it. They refuse to believe it. And in those instances, the child's needs, they go unmet. And it's a shame because once that allegation comes out to a school counselor or a school nurse or anything like that, everyone in the home is liable for that abuse that is happening to that child.
Mm, that's some. And let me ask you, do you see more of the step parent doing the sexual abuse or the natural parent, or which one, or could it be either or both?
Majority of the time, it is um, I don't know how to, not the distant family member, but it's an uncle, it's a
Oh,
grandpa, it's a family member or close acquaintance, not necessarily the parents, step parent, but it's from experience. It's mostly it's someone that's trusted in the home, um, but not necessarily living in the home.
mm.
Yeah, most of
And
the time.
when you do the therapy, um, sometimes I know they do family therapy or group therapy. Has the perpetrator ever been in the same therapy class with you guys, or
I
they don't allow that?
No, I haven't experienced that. I've never experienced that. I'm not to say that it doesn't happen, um, but I haven't experienced that. Most of the time, if this is fresh, so the allegations are fresh, CPS, remove the child from the
Okay,
home,
true.
or the father had to,
Move
go off, get out of the home for 90 days or 60 days until
the
investigation was
investigation.
complete, and that's when I would see the children.
Hmm. So, say for instance, I'm just reading the comments. Say for instance, if uh it came down to where my husband or spouse or whoever had to leave, and I said no, that the child is going to leave, that's going to have an everlasting trauma on that child. I'm just asking that my mom chose her husband or whoever
Mhm,
over me. So, what how would you deal with a child like that? Because they're going to come in, they're going to be angry, they're going to be upset. I know it's a process, but as a therapist, what are some of the things that if we as teachers or community leaders or
mhm.
church members, what can we do to help?
So, you know, I always think that family therapy is best in those situations. You have a child that's having built up anger and resentment and feeling rejected by whoever it is. And so the best way to get that like clarified is to get the communication understood. What is the message that mom meant to send or dad meant to send, but it wasn't relayed? And then I want to get the facts. So I hear one side of the story. I want to give the mother or the
Okay, we back.
parent. You lost me.
Yeah, you keep going. Yeah, we lost you.
I want to get the parent. I want to allow the parent the opportunity to be able to speak up.
Okay.
And it's good to get both sides of the stories and get clarification on communication uh, in those instances.
Okay.
First, that's first.
She said, yeah, she agree with you. All right. So daddy telling the truth. She said, yeah, she agree with you. Great job, baby. And for some of the people that are listening and going to watch the replay, what would you suggest? Because school has started back, and a lot of times that's a safe haven for a lot of our children.
Yes.
So because they've been home for so long, we can only imagine what's going to be said.
Hey, hey. So the recommendation to parents,
Mm-hmm.
recommendation for parents is to first and foremost look for the keys and the signs of sexual abuse, assault in the home. I guess we need
Clarify
to
what can we look for first of all, because some of
uh-huh.
the parents or grandparents or guardians, they may not know what to look for.
hmm So, in young children, as I alluded to earlier, is the infatuation with touching their privates. Okay, whether it's the front, the back, the butt. If there is always just touching there and those genital parts, in school, in church, um, that is that is very concerning. Okay, very concerning. That's one hint that maybe a child needs to get therapy, and then the therapist can kind of pick around maybe with play therapy, and just kind of explore what kind of exposure they have. Oh, do you sit on grandpa's lap? Okay. So, how does grandpa touch you? How do y'all interact? What do you do? So maybe the therapist can kind of explore just in play therapy, coloring, whatever they do. I don't deal with children under 12, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's the first sign. Look for that. The other one is a clinginess. Okay.
Mm.
Why do you wanna be near grandpa so much? Why are you wanting to hold hands and hang on, while he's watching the football game? Why so you wanna look for those
Mm.
as well, like the clingy relationships, the inappropriate clingy relationship when a child should be playing with Legos and blocks or, yelling and screaming, running around the house with all their energy. They rather be with that person, right?
Mm.
That is also a sign. As they get older, if a child wants to if a child is wanting to get their nails done, 12 years old, 11 years old, 10 years old, and even 13, they want to get them lipstick and all that other stuff. It's a possibility that they've been exposed to some type of sexual, whether it was consensual or non-consensual, and so we
Mm.
wanna be, just kinda put our antennas up, okay? Any child who catches a Uber by themselves, and does things like that, those are signs as they get older,
Yeah.
young people, 15, 16 years old, those are signs of human trafficking. Always catching
Mm.
Ubers, always on the go, with a shared riding. I say Uber, but, there's Lyft, there's Uber,
Just
there's
all of them. Yes.
taxis. So if those youth are doing that, that's a sign of human trafficking. Wearing makeup, lips gloss, lips all shiny, hair done. Where do you get the money for all that? Nails done. Where do you get the money for that? Those are signs of sexual assault or human trafficking as well.
Mm. You
Just to
gave such
name a few.
good tips. That was just a few. That was eye opening right there because I never thought about the the Ubering for the older kids. I never thought about
Hmm.
that. And another thing that I have saw is because I used to teach first grade, and I would see the inappropriate dress of 6 and 7 year olds. When I say inappropriate, the weave, the nails, they come in with the makeup on, and knowing that that child is 6 or 7 years old did not have a job to go out and buy some of the revealing clothes that we have saw children that are supposed to be kids. So is there something going on with the we were talking about that as teachers? What is it that would, if I have a 7 year old daughter, I'm dressing her as a 15 or 16 year old with the weave, the nails, the all face made up. Why not just let her have a regular childhood?
Okay. Um, when I was in school, let's say sixth grade, it started off at sixth grade. Girls would come to school in wearing one thing, go to the
Mm-hmm.
bathroom, and come out with a short skirt on or a short dress. So that does happen for sure, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
girls being fast. My first girlfriend was like that, but at the same time, it's different from, culture or the household values
Right.
and what they've been exposed to versus sexual assault. And so, children are getting, sexually involved at a very, very young age. It feels like it's getting younger and younger. Just ran
Right.
into a girl at the hospital the other day. She had her first baby at 13, I think, 13 years old. And so, she had to been getting it in at 11, 12 years old, and so that's concerning in itself. Um, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we can definitely pick up on those signs, but it needs to be coupled with all the other things that I kind of identified. It can't just be one. And hey, we may need to call CPS to investigate the house on that.
Mm-hmm. And can you elaborate? Because I know, like in certain cultures, young girls become women before the legal age. In some of the cultures, once you have
Oh
a
yeah.
certain step, you're considered a young lady. Because someone sent me a thing, was a post on Facebook The young girl was 12, the guy was 26.
Mhm.
So they were going through the regular relationship. So when she got to the hospital to deliver the baby, that's when one of the nurses called because she filled out the paperwork saying she was 12, and then he filled out the paperwork. They didn't think anything about it, and he was at the baby shower and all that, and he was up in a roar that the police would actually arrest him. And so now the family is taking his side, saying they don't see anything wrong with it. And just like you said, the authorities and everybody else who upheld this, they're going to be charging them also. And that was in Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. You run in that in Utah with Mormons.
Right, right.
You run into this. The culture of communities may not coincide with that of the legality, the laws of our Western culture. And I have experience with this as well. There
Mm-hmm.
was a child that was in the hospital, and uh, she was married to an older. He was a grown man, 25,
Mm-hmm.
26 years old. She was 16, maybe 15 years old. Okay, and they were Middle East. I'm not going to say too much,
Right,
but they
right,
were Middle East, and again, it's just a cultural difference. And in some cultures, 12 years old, 13 years old, parents can marry their children off to marry their children off. And so usually it's younger women, younger girls who are getting married off. It's not young boys marrying older women. But
right.
you know, I don't know the legality behind that. I don't know if you're not allowed to practice your religion or your faith, and
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know that part of it. But I have experienced that, and only thing we can do is report it.
Okay.
CPS investigates. Unfortunately, they're going to impede on their religion, their faith, and investigate. See their parents, get the parental, like all that legal stuff. Who is the biological parents or the guardians of that child? Uh, Make sure documents and paperwork, like it's got to be a long history and long track record of them practicing their faith and their religion in this manner. And then I don't know what the courts decide on that.
I don't know either. That's why I was saying, if you said that's your religion or that's what you've been practicing, I don't know how the law would uphold that. That is something I'll watch, and I'll send you the information just to keep you abreast of whatever, because they said that was the family were in agreement with it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, even if that was my culture or whatever, I'm not putting anybody's culture down. But at 12 years old, and you're talking about a 26-year-old man, I could see maybe you could say, well, he was 14, 15, but a full grown man with a 12-year-old child, that's in
Yeah,
my eyesight.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? We know this to be. We feel in our cultural values, we believe that it's extremely wrong. But in other
right.
parts of the world, not just one part, but other parts of
All
the
parts of
world,
the world, too.
um, that is a strong belief. It's perfectly fine, and for parents to marry off their children.
Right.
What is another? Ooh, man, I'm gonna speak on this. R. Kelly and Aaliyah. So
Oh, yeah.
Aaliyah was 16 years old, and her parents gave her, I guess, just married her off.
Permission or
Yeah,
whatever
permission.
they
Yeah,
signed the paperwork or whatever.
yeah, sure did. So I mean, that happens here in the United States.
So well, as long as the parents, I guess, sign out on your paperwork, I'm assuming you're okay. I'm assuming that you are
Legally, yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, what can you can't say anything. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that one out because I know we've uh, tried to figure it out and just what do we do? Where do we go? I've been in that situation because I had a young girl in my class. Um, the real daddy was sexually abusing her and two of her siblings, plus he was letting the uncles do it also. And the young lady came and she told me, and I immediately went and told the principal and the nurse. They called the police, and she said, I know, because what my husband does and my job, that we were going to protect her. I said, of course. And so they arrested the mother, the father, and all the other people. And so when the mother did make bail, she gonna call me and wanted me to take sides with her. You know, all that's all my girls do. They talk about you all the time and whatever. So I told her no, I was not getting into that. I was just holding on to what the babies told me, and I'm going to keep their side. So the dad, all the uncles, them, they got life without parole because this has been going on for a while, and the mom got 60 years because not only were they knew that this was going on, they were allowing other visitors to come in. You think about the name Margarita. Okay, if I have a child named Margarita, that's for a drink. No, the title of her name, because everybody gets a turn. So that's, I think by them naming those kids those things, I don't know if they had this already in their mind. I don't know. I'm just saying because they stuck it to him good, you know. And she told him, she said, "Well, y'all better hear him because my daddy and them, they said that they gonna run and they gonna go to Mexico and y'all would never find them." So that's why they did not have bail for them. And I didn't have a problem testifying. I just told them exactly what the kids said and what it was. And they were adopted by a sheriff, and his wife was a pediatric nurse. So they allow us to still be in the kids' life. They're living a happy life. They're different kids. And I am so amazed, you know, we still have them in our lives, you know, that she felt comfortable enough to come and tell me exactly what was going on and knew that no matter what it was, that I was going to protect her. Even with her mom calling me, trying to give me a sad story, I'm like, I don't care what you tell me. I can't fathom your husband, his brothers, and everybody else that come on if that's what you want to do. Something is wrong with you. So I just couldn't get in that. So I testified, you know, that I guess that would be the prosecution side, you know, as the teacher and what the children had said. So even with coming up with those kind of names, there had to be something else. If you want to name a child that, you had to have some kind of inkling that you were going to be doing something crazy like this. To me, it's crazy, but I don't know what they were thinking.
Isn't that a it's just hard to fathom that people do this.
Yeah,
Sell their children off, traffic their own children.
yeah, and see, I think that's what it more was, like you said, because I wasn't that familiar with like trafficking. When you hear sex trafficking, you think about people on the street. You never think about parents trafficking their own kid, and that's why I said I heard nieces say her grandmother trafficked her and her mother. Yeah, and then she told him, "You better not say anything because whoever the men were paying the bills and doing this, and doing that, and whatever," and made them be quiet.
I heard I know stories of that, but they're so fresh. Real recent that I can't really divulge too much information.
Right, right.
But I when a child comes to you or comes to me and tells me, it's just hard to believe. It's just really hard to believe, but it's happening.
It's
It's
happening.
happening. I've had this happen. I've had that happen twice. My grandma, my mom, you know, and they're the pimp. They are the pimp, and it's like, really? It's tough.
And I'm gonna give you information because we also went through a class at Crime Stoppers, and they were talking about sex trafficking. It was some teachers that they caught in HISD. It's been about a couple of years ago. The teachers were sex trafficking their students from the classroom. And they showed us the picture. They showed us everything.
What?
I'm like,
When
what?
was this? What
This was
year was
about 2 years ago. Because I take a lot of the different classes at Crime Stoppers, and they
okay?
gave us I think it was a 2 day class. Educators, community, anybody could go, and they were talking about some of the things you look for is sex trafficking that we wouldn't think of. And they had teachers on there, they had coaches on there, and how one of the girls, she was on the cheerleading team. So her and the sex trafficker was the teacher. So she was getting all the kids involved and getting a piece of the money. So
Mm,
she went to jail too. We saw her picture up there in her cheerleader suit. Then we saw her mugshot. So it says
mm.
some things about that. And like I said, you never, and it was a sweet grandmother over there for Telephone Road. She was feeding all the kids or whatever. But during that time, she was like in her 70s. And that's what she was doing on the side, sex trafficking kids right there off of that was 45 over there in that area. And that's why my daughter was going to University of Houston. I told her, do not go over there doing that area because that's a hot spot for sex trafficking. And it was some of the things because some of the things that they do on there is about sex trafficking. And it's just, I'm like, really? I mean, that the grandmother and I was thrown off about the teacher and the coach. Those were the one that really threw me off because when
Yeah.
kids come to school, they are supposed to be. We're supposed to protect the kids. They're supposed to look up to us. But if I
Hmm.
turn around and do something crazy like that, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
We are
yeah.
trusted. We are trusted.
And that was we learned that through the Crime Stoppers. They do good classes over there. So some one the one that we just finished is about bullying on social media because so many people are not familiar with social media.
Mhm.
It used to be when we were growing up, it was the bully in the playground, the bully on your street. But now you have bullies that are behind the keyboard, and things
Yeah.
like that. So they were talking about that. It was young one man, his name was David. He was on there. He committed suicide because they weren't bullying him in person. They were bullying him, cyber bullying him. So he couldn't take it. So he ended up, taking his own life because of bullying.
Yeah. I see that a lot as well. There's children who may make a mistake. So they'll make a mistake. So there's been several instances where I'll see kids that have been caught on camera doing things.
Okay, okay.
And so it gets spread around and they get embarrassed. And that's when they start feeling depressed. They start, people are teasing them, making fun of them, laughing at them. There's one kid that was beat up at school, and he got beat up bad. One on one, he got beat up, and they put it on social media. Snoop Dogg got a hold
Oh,
of it. Snoop Dogg got a hold of it, put it on his platform, and it went viral. And so you got the millions of people watching me get beat up, and they're laughing and making fun. What does that do to them? What does that do to the kid? So I'm gonna let my little girl. She's gonna walk around. We're definitely gonna hear her screaming in the background. She's gonna tear up my office, but that's
that's all
perfectly
right. She got her opinion. We value her opinion also. Let her give her opinion
fine.
also.
So yeah, that's my baby girl, Sarah.
Yeah, so we are so thankful to have someone like you in the community that you can come on and talk about different subjects and raise our awareness on mental health because that's another thing we in the Black community do not want to talk about. Mental health and cancer is, I don't know why we just don't want to discuss that. Miss Elizabeth Avery said your daughter is so cute.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we got to protect our children. I
Right.
brought her on today, not necessarily to show her off, but let the folks know, man, this hits home. I have babies, I have children, I've got 3 of them, and, my boy is more so on social media with me, pictures, videos, he's got his own
Right.
Instagram,
All right now.
but the girls,
You kind of
uh,
protective of them.
yeah, they won't be on too much. As they
Okay.
get older, it'll be less and less, and it's because of this, the human trafficking, it's because of this, sexual assaults and molestation and things like that.
Well, your girls are very lucky to have a great dad like you and to be there to protect them and support them. but I still feel sorry for like all of the other young girls who don't have protectors and good dads like yourself. It's like you just left them all open for anybody to just come and take advantage of them. And I don't know, we need more men like
Mhm.
yourself to step up and help these moms with these kids. Don't just leave them, but stay there. Even if you're not in a relationship with the mom, still
Right.
maintain contact with
With
your
your children.
child. Right.
Mhm. Um, so that's one of the benefits that I would like to have from the youth group, the community youth group. When these kids come into a safe space for them to share their experiences, it's in the hopes that other children live right down the street, go to the same high school, and when they see that girl or that person getting bullied, they step in like, hold on, we're not doing this, and so they have an advocate, they have peer support, and so a lot of benefit can come from that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a community, whether it's adults, whether it's our peers. It takes it's a collective of everybody coming together to lift each other up.
And go ahead and tell us a little bit about the group sessions that you're going to be having monthly. Are you still going to be doing the monthly? Or are you going to do bi-monthly, but just monthly starting out? Or
Mhm.
how are you going to do that?
Yeah, so monthly, one time monthly, we are going to have a youth group. We are having a youth group at His Way Baptist Church. Details can be found at my website. One I'm sorry, www.minortomajortx.com. You can sign up for that. It's ages 12 to 17 years old. And you know, this group is meant to it's free. Let me throw that out there. It's totally free. The group is meant to help kids process some things that are happening, daily life stressors, talk about maybe some trauma, but not go too far deep into it. Just kind of overall wellness and getting better through treatment and building a community with these kids. That's very important. And once they understand, there's something powerful that happens when kids get together and they can identify with other kids in a safe space. It's like, this is my homeboy, this is my friend, this is my girl, and we just met today because of their experiences that they share. There's bonding that happens, and we need that. We need that.
And Titan said exactly a community, a village, and a tribe. You remember Titan from Josh House?
I
Yeah,
sure do. I sure
Titan is
do.
on here. We love you, Titan. He's an
Thank you,
amazing
Titan.
young man. Yes. And like you said, we need the community, a village, and a tribe. We need it all in this group. So, what are the age group? I think you told me the age group of 12 to 17.
Mhm.
Is
Well,
anybody excluded? Is open to all
no,
races?
yeah, there.
Everybody.
So, talking about sexual assault, I cannot have for liability issues 18-year-olds or more. I
Oh,
would
okay.
love for them to be in the group 18 and older, like up to 23. I would love for them to be in the same space. Oh, that girl looks cute. Oh, that boy looks cute.
Oh, right, right,
Right?
right.
It's a liability issue. If those people 18 and older do attend, they cannot participate. They must be in the background. They must be quiet. And so, kids that are under the age of 12 years old, parental advisory. Listen, we may be talking about sex. We may be talking about gun violence. We may be talking about peer pressure, bullying, things that they have not been exposed to yet, depending
Right.
on the home environment and their
Correct.
school environment. And so, a child who is 11 years old, raised in the woodlands in a private school, is not
Don't have a
exposed
clue.
to the same things that a 12 or 13-year-old kid in Fifth Ward or 11-year-old kid in Fifth Ward has been exposed to. So I can't have the 11-year-olds in there as well unless the parent specifically agrees,
Requested.
or requests. Yeah. So
Right.
those, yeah.
So, are you going to still have the parents come? Because I think you said eventually all of us that were sitting in the back that you were
Mhm.
just going to have it started with the youth, and maybe we could sit in another room and have a
as we
parent
grow,
talk across the hall.
as we grow, because I want parents in the room in the same
Okay.
space, because they can learn as well. They can
Okay.
learn about their children. They can learn from hearing other kids' experiences. I don't want that happening to my child, so this is what I'm going to do
Okay.
to prevent that from happening. I see my child going down that same path and doing those same behaviors, so this is what I can do. There's learning that can be that can happen when parents are in the building. So, you know, I don't want to exclude them just yet. Not just
Okay.
yet. As the group builds, we need to practice social distancing. Maybe not all parents are going to be allowed to be in there. The
Okay.
first ones that get there can stay, and the rest are going to have to be in the overflow. Um,
Right. Once you reach your max of how many
mhm,
could be in there, especially with this COVID and all of this is
correct.
going on.
That's right.
So we have to be very, very careful with that. And what are some of the things that other things that you want to do and you may need help while people are listening? You got a few on there, they're going to watch your replay. I know we always need money, and you're a 501c3.
Mhm.
So, what can people do to help you help the community? What donations can they make? To put your cash up, tell them your cash out. Um, how can they actually help you? What are some of the things you need for your group?
So the I have two. I have a minor to major LLC, which is the for profit, right? And then I have the M2M Foundation. And so, for the M2M Foundation, this youth group is working under that entity. And minor to major TX is the Cash App. They can make their donations there. I'm going to share a vision that I have
Okay.
for this group. So the vision that I have for this group is to have Nike, Adidas, I don't care, Fila, I don't care. Um, but it is my vision that we get sponsored by one of those companies, and we're able to provide sweatshirts. Um, we're able to provide tennis shoes. Children will never be bullied in our community about them wearing some raggedy tennis shoes. So it is in the hopes that we can get them brand new tennis shoes once a semester, so every six
Yes,
months. That is the vision that I would like to see happen. Our children are sponsored, and those tennis shoes. I want them to have a message on the sweatshirts. I want them to have a message. Those children who choose to go to college, they've already committed. I want to go to college. I've been accepted to this college. I chose college, not the streets.
I
I want
love
to have
that.
little slogans like that. It sparks the conversation. It gets the conversation going, and it's kind of controversial. Like, what you mean you
Mhm.
chose college? So you better than me? I don't want our kids getting beat up, but it
No.
starts the conversation. It starts the conversation, and we will give them tools and strategies and responses, appropriate, respectful responses for those who come up to them and charge them up about the T-shirt. Um, so yeah, that I would love to see us be sponsored by a large corporation like Nike,
Okay.
Fila, Adidas, one of those, and we can kind of move
What
on
about
that.
Amazon? Because Amazon is pretty good. Have you thought about Amazon, or that's not one that you would like
I don't
for a
care who it
sponsor?
is. I
Okay.
don't care who it is.
I didn't hear you call Amazon, but they are very well good with helping, like with youth group, and Home Depot is good with that also. And
Mhm.
I'm get with what was it, the Hobby Lobby, because I went in there yesterday and I looked at the sweatshirts because you were talking about the sweatshirts. They're like 11.99, 12.99, and that's where they start. And they had all sizes in there, so they did have the hoodie on them with the pockets in the front, and then they did have just the plain one with the hoodies on them. So
Mhm.
I did look at those yesterday, and so I will be looking at that, trying to get them to come in and you know
Okay. Okay.
talk to you, not to me, because I have no clue. They're going to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah, and so with those on those blank sweatshirts, we'll what we'll do is we'll hire a black owned business, a
Okay,
small black owned business to do the printing. And so that's one way we pour the money back into the community, and
and to the community.
right. But my vision for that is to have messages that go into the schools Wear this at school. Wear this out in the community. The M2M Foundation, largest community, Houston community youth group. Very small on the back. I don't care. And then in the front, maybe it says, "I chose college, not the streets," with a fist in the front or something like
Right, right,
that.
right.
Just little messages like that to kind of push our initiative. Come to therapy. And then they've got some swag on, with the hoodie. Like, that's a thing now.
Oh,
Kids love the
hoodies.
hoodies,
Okay.
whether it's boys, girls, or them.
So it's
They love the
hoodies.
hoodies.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the vision for that.
Okay. So everybody getting a lot of hearts over here. So if anybody have any connection with Nike, Adidas, Fila, and all those other names he named, please get in touch with him. Where can they reach you at? Where can people actually reach you at? I know you, all of y'all social media folk, but it's some of us old people. We still pick up the phone. We still pick up the phone.
Yeah, I have a direct number that is it goes straight to my office phone. When I'm not in my office, it'll ring to my cell phone. And that number is 281-972-8383. You can drop a text message in there, not 281-972-8383. You can drop a text message in there, tell me where you've heard about me, and then tell me what your ask is, where you heard about me, and what your ask is. What do you want, basically? Okay. So yeah, that's the best way. And
Okay.
if we can move forward, then we'll set up a call or we'll set up a Zoom
Okay.
meeting.
All right. So everybody hear that we want to support this young man. We want to, if you have any connections or any big millionaire friends, because it's coming to the end of the year, they still have money that they have to get rid of. So that's a great foundation in the community. We're going to start pushing this for our children, not just in Acres Home, Fifth Ward, Third Ward. He's opening it up to all kids. So as long as you're between the ages of 12 to 17, you're welcome to come out to the once a month group therapy.
Hmm.
And then on the 21st of this month, we're going to have our back to school giveaway. We're still picking up school supplies. I just picked up a whole trunkload full of backpacks already filled with the supplies from Mr. Clarence Miller and his wife, Miss Paula Miller. She donated a whole trunkload of backpacks full of supplies. And then my girl, when I'm on here, it's a needed touch from the massage and the yoga company. She just dropped off a ton of stuff over here at the house on the door. And we had a cash donation today of $1,200 to keep us going and to do it. And that's just the one of the many things, because tomorrow we got to start this all over again. And I'm just so blessed and so thankful that you are here to help us, because we get so much stuff and now look like we're picking up with so much money. And that's why I said, um I'm the type of person, if you're on our team, we're going to share. It's not like everything is going to be for me. We're going to share to make sure everybody on the team reach their visions and their goals. It's not only about Shining Star Leadership Academy or Powell's Impact or Minor to Majors. When we all come together as one collectively, and when there's somebody in our group that's in need, we're going to make sure you get what you need. So that's why I wanted to put it out there, make sure people know who you are, and tell them, the sweatshirt, you want the shoes. We need all of that. So as after this week, I'll have some free time next week. I could get with some of the athletes I have contacted. I don't know how they do that, or they just want to sponsor you. I don't know. I'm gonna send them over to you. That is not my thing. That's between you and them. I have nothing to do with that.
One,
So we will try to get you what you need, or just put you in the people that can help you.
yeah, please. So one of the things that I really would like is for that person to introduce me to whoever it is I need to uh
That's all I'm gonna
speak
do. I
to
don't have nothing to do with it. I'm like,
to
here,
speak
that's the
to
number you call.
about getting the sponsorship. Let
Right.
me
Because I had
let me
talked
go
to
ahead and speak to them.
a
And
judge today, and
Okay.
he wanted to do some stuff with Shining Stars. So I brought up what you were doing, and you were a therapist, and he's very, very, very interested in what you are doing. So I'm going to make sure he gets your information, um, and you hook up with them because they do. He supports people in the community, and if you're doing something that benefits the community, he will definitely um, put his money where his mouth is. And that's why I wanted to make sure I put you on that platform, because I know him and a couple of other of the judges would be watching. So I wanted them to get a feel of you so they can, feel for you. And I will get his information. We're supposed to meet, I think, one day next week, and I'll check your schedule. If we meet next week, I'll let you know. And you said you're available later part of the week, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Thursdays and Fridays.
yeah,
Thursdays
I'll
and
try to
Fridays.
see if they can work it on the Thursday or Friday so you can come, to the meeting, and you can, tell them what it is. So everyone, please support this young man, Jeremiah Rankin. He's an amazing young therapist. He wants to help our children in the community. This man has a family. Can't do everything for free, so we need you. He got to buy diapers. You got to buy two sets of diapers now, don't you? The baby diapers and the baby. So he's gonna need our support because we need him to be in the community, but he still has to work to take care of his family and do what he needs to do. So we need to come forth and help him and support him so he can continue working with the kids and working with everybody, and just support him, because I haven't found, and I was looking for it, and that's going to be a good thing. I haven't found a therapist nowhere in Texas, I could be wrong, that are doing free group therapy for kids in the community. I
No.
haven't seen it. I could be wrong. I've looked.
Mhm.
I haven't found it, but I could be wrong. But I'm just saying that is so unique what you are doing, and it's not heard of. And when you look for the grants and the foundation, that's what they're looking for. Someone that's doing something different. When the kids come, I want to make sure, because this is a point where the resource come in. When the kids come, just so many kids are still hungry in our community. We're going to feed the kids. When they leave, they give food. When mom or whoever pick them up, we're going to give them resources too. We can't, and I found that out in teaching, we cannot teach the kids if they come there with the stomach growling. We're
But
going to
listen,
have to feed them.
but listen, this is where the help from the community comes from.
Right. You're
The
right.
the kids will not know about what I'm doing or what we are doing unless the community spreads the word. We
Right.
need
Right.
we need awareness out there. And so,
Right.
that's one of the reasons when I talk about, hey, follow my YouTube, when I talk about, hey, get on my Instagram, it's not for personal gain so I become
No.
super popular. It's so people hear the message. Someone hears it and shares it with the right person. That's what it's
Right.
about. And so again, like my group is not going to grow. These kids are not going to get the help unless the community, the tribe, the village comes together
That's
and
right.
spreads the word. I would love to see a church like Lakewood or Fallbrook Church filled with nothing but kids in there getting value and benefit from each other more than one person speaking. And
Yes.
so I mean, the vision is big, but we won't get there unless we get the help from the community.
Okay. So, and then we went to the meeting the other day with Miss Shepherd and that group, getting you into the schools so they can hear your message, so we can start getting these kids out. So, did you get those flyers ready for us yet?
I have not. I have
They
not.
called. They kept calling me, asking me about the flyer. I
I
said, "Well,
feel
do
bad
I
about
need to
that
make a
too. I'm gonna get
flyer?"
on it.
I like, "Do I need
Listen,
to make a flyer?"
listen. I've been so swamped, overcommitted. But tomorrow I have a lot of free time.
Okay.
And Saturday and Sunday I'm back at it again. So,
Well, get with Miss
to,
Shepherd. They that community, the group, they waiting on those flyers, because they wanted to put them in the they were looking to do it this week. 'Cause remember, she asked me the earlier part of the week about the flyers. They wanted to make sure all of those schools that were on that list had the flyers so they can start pushing. Well, just come up with your date on there so we can start pushing your date for your next event, and we can make sure we get that out to the school. And if you can have that by the 21st, we'll put all your flyers and your cards, not only in the kids' backpack, but we will put them in the parents' bags too. And then that will
Okay.
give you, because all of the parents have to bring the kid. So we
Mhm.
have quite a few middle schoolers and high schoolers that come. That would give you an opportunity to actually meet and talk with the kids
Mhm.
while they're there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll have something together.
Okay.
I
Because
just
Miss
wanna do it I just want it to be right. I like for it to be done right. I don't wanna just throw anything together and push it out. So
We
that's
ask you for a flyer. Let us do the work. You do all the planning. You do all the other stuff. We just wanted the flyer so we can start getting that, because at that next event, we want to make sure that you have plenty of kids there.
mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
why we want to start now. I'll have the
Okay.
21st for the flyers. And then Miss Shepherd, like I said, she wanted to contact some of those churches. She have connections with. She wanted to put it in the church bulletin. That's why they were looking to have the flyer by that Monday, because I think it's a deadline to have it in the church bulletin. And then
Okay.
I know KSBJ have that little site. If you have an event, you could put it on their website too. That's the radio station KSBJ. So we were looking at some things, trying to get it out there for advertisement and get you out there. But hopefully by Monday we can have the flyer and we can get started.
Okay. Okay.
All
I'll
right.
definitely work towards that.
Well, thank you guys so much. So you have heard his information and you have heard everything. If you can help him, if you know any sponsorships, anyone that's willing to help with this particular project that he's doing, please reach out to him, because it takes the village, the community, it takes the whole tribe. Not one person can stand alone and make this successful. So we are thinking about doing these mental health things every Tuesday or Thursday, or when you are available, because you are so busy. So we might have to do them on some of the days that you are off, that you are not doing things, so we can get out there and reach people, so people know your message.
Mhm. We can be more consistent for sure. We can
Right.
definitely be
Yeah.
more consistent for the community.
Right. So thank everybody for tuning in, and and tonight we had 20 shares tonight.
Oh,
We had
awesome.
20 shares. So I
Awesome.
thank everybody that shared, because it told me we had 20 shares. So there's probably different time zone or whatever. So by them, everybody sharing and I was sharing, we should have a good response by tomorrow. I usually give it a 24 hours, but yeah, it's showing on here. We had 24 shares on
Good,
here.
good,
Yeah,
good, good.
20. Yeah, and we got 20 comments. So that's good. We got more comments than likes. So that's how the algorithm goes. So once it started registering in the computer, that's how it started with the food program. It started registering with the shares and the comments. They're not about the likes. Once the comments and the shares start going up, that's when the sponsor's gonna come. So
Okay.
once they come, we did good. On the first one,
So
you got
y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Please like and share. And
yes,
if you're
and
watching the replay
comment
of this,
yes,
if you're not watching the live, please put hashtag replay. That
right.
also helps us with knowing the
Who it was.
repurposing and
And
yeah.
you have a YouTube channel. You said you wanted people to
Mhm.
subscribe to your YouTube channel. Where
Yeah,
can they
please.
subscribe to your YouTube channel?
So it's s- if you go
Oh,
to
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's a good friend of mine, Anisi Calvin Marcus. He say he's streaming all the way from Uganda, Africa.
oh wow, that's
And
beautiful.
he has a village. I'm gonna introduce you. He has a village of kids that like HIV/AIDS parents who are orphan. He has about, I see so many kids. I want to say 50 to 60 kids that they take care of every day. So he wanted me, I didn't want to try to interrupt you, because he kept putting the message in, and he wanted me to let you know all the way from Uganda that he is supporting you, and he streamed and he shared your video.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Um, so for those who are joining in and you want to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel, please do so. It's the link is on my the direct link is on my Twitter account at minor to major TX. Minor to major TX. That is my Twitter. It's go to that profile. It's in the bio. Click on that link. It leads you right to a video. Please like and subscribe and share. You just never know who's going to benefit
You never
from
know.
from my story and my mission and some of the things that I speak into the life of young minority people. So, my YouTube channel is basically uplifting the middle to lower class society. I give them tips and tricks, and I give my opinions about certain things. And overall, I just want to spread the awareness on how, not only did I turn my minor setback of doing 5 years in prison into a major comeback of being the entrepreneur that I am today, but how you can do the same thing. And so that's all my mission is. That's what my purpose is. That and stopping the pipeline from schools to prison.
All
So
right. Well, you guys, this won't be the last time you will see him. And thank y'all for the share. That was good for our first show, 20 shares and 20 comments. So make sure y'all continue to share. Oh, no, we just got 21 shares and 24 comments. So as we're talking, it's steady going up. So please, y'all, get this to the people, or if you know someone or you're listening, please contact him, Jere'My Rankin.
mhm,
He left go back and watch the replay, all of his information, because he's going to be having another event next month. And we want to make sure we support him, and you bring your kids out and make sure everybody is a part of it, and make sure you help him with his donations. He's looking for tennis shoes, sweatshirts, all things like that. And if some of the athletes are out there and you can make a donation to help him purchasing those things, that would be much appreciated. So thank you guys, and you will see us again. So thank you so much. Make sure you contact him, go to his YouTube channel, go to his Facebook page, go to all of his social media platform, and show him some love. Okay, I know. Anything else? That's it.
say bye. Bye.
Oh, bye. She like, it's time to talk. She don't want to go bye. Okay, bye bye, you guys.